crispy, juicy, saucy perfection. Try new Jollibee chicken tenders today.
To the next level. Civil danger warning for the entire Los Angeles County. The following message is transmitted by the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Unknown forces have descended upon Los Angeles, unleashing chaos and destruction across the county. These invaders have been identified as the Roman gods of ancient mythology. Witnesses report Mars, the god of war, leading violent clashes in the streets, while Neptune, the god of the sea, floods coastal areas with massive tidal waves. Lightning storms, earthquakes, and fire tornadoes, all seemingly controlled by these deities, have turned Los Angeles into a battlefield. Tourist landmarks across the city have become epicenters of destruction. Reports indicate that the Hollywood sign was struck by a bolt of lightning from Jupiter, the king of the gods, leaving the iconic landmark in ruins. At the Griffith Observatory, Vulcan, the god of fire and forge, is said to have created a massive volcanic fissure, sending molten lava cascading down the hillside. Meanwhile, Neptune has turned the Santa Monica Pier into a watery grave, summoning massive waves to swallow the boardwalk. Downtown Los Angeles, particularly around the Staples Center and City Hall, is a war zone, with Mars summoning armies of spectral warriors to engage the National Guard. Authorities are still attempting to determine the cause of this divine wrath. Experts in mythology speculate that the gods have awakened in anger, furious over humanity's disregard for the natural world and the erosion of moral and cultural traditions. However, no clear explanation has emerged, and efforts to communicate with the deities have failed. The National Guard and law enforcement are working tirelessly to evacuate civilians and secure key infrastructure. Specialized military units have been deployed to engage the gods where possible, but early reports suggest that conventional weapons have no effect on these ancient beings. Efforts to develop alternative strategies are underway, including consulting with historians and archaeologists for possible solutions rooted in ancient texts and artifacts. Civilians are urged to take immediate action to protect themselves. Seek shelter in reinforced structures away from open areas, avoid tourist sites and conflict zones, and follow official evacuation routes. Stock up on essential supplies, including food, water, and first aid, and prepare for long-term disruptions to power and communication services. Above all, do not approach or engage the gods. These entities possess powers far beyond human comprehension and pose a grave threat to anyone who crosses their path. FEMA has activated the Mythological Threat Containment Unit, a global task force specializing in supernatural crises. Efforts are being coordinated with allied nations to devise a strategy to neutralize the gods and restore order. Until further notice, remain calm, stay informed, and follow all directives from emergency authorities. This is a time of unprecedented crisis, but humanity has faced overwhelming challenges before. Together, we will endure and find a way to survive.
We know y'all can cook real good, but sometimes the fam just wants Popeyes for dinner. And since our 10-piece box packs lots of our juicy mixed signature chicken everyone can enjoy, you want in too.
Immediate evacuation for all counties in Greater Los Angeles area. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. This is not a drill. Immediate evacuation has been ordered for Los Angeles, Orange, Ventura, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties due to a full-scale invasion by the Roman gods. All hell has broken loose as these ancient deities extend their wrath across the entire Greater Los Angeles area. Reports confirm widespread destruction, supernatural phenomena, and catastrophic loss of life in all 5 counties. In Orange County, Neptune has turned the coastline into a battlefield, summoning massive tidal waves that have engulfed Huntington Beach and Newport Beach. The Disneyland Resort in Anaheim has become unrecognizable, with Mars, the god of war, leading spectral warriors through the park, clashing with law enforcement in surreal battles among shattered rides. In Ventura County, Jupiter has unleashed a relentless storm over the Pacific Coast Highway, making all travel impossible. Lightning bolts have shattered the Ventura Pier and sparked wildfires in the surrounding hills, leaving the region in chaos. In Riverside County, Vulcan, the god of fire, has caused massive volcanic eruptions in the Temescal Valley. The Cabazon Dinosaurs landmark has been reduced to rubble, with fiery lava flows cutting off entire communities from escape routes. In San Bernardino County, Diana, the goddess of the hunt, has been spotted at Big Bear Lake, summoning supernatural creatures that roam the forests and attack anyone in sight. Nearby ski resorts are overrun, with terrified tourists fleeing for their lives as wildlife behaves in unnatural, deadly ways. As the destruction spreads, it is imperative that all residents evacuate immediately. Follow designated evacuation routes as directed by local authorities and avoid major tourist attractions and city centers. Do not attempt to retrieve personal belongings or return home. Gather only essential items, such as water, non-perishable food, clothing, and first aid supplies. Head to emergency shelters or safe zones announced through emergency broadcasts. If you encounter any of the gods or supernatural phenomena, do not engage under any circumstances. Seek shelter and wait for further instructions. Local, state, and federal authorities, including the National Guard and FEMA's Mythological Threat Containment Unit, are working tirelessly to mitigate the crisis, but the situation remains extremely volatile and unpredictable. Stay tuned to official emergency channels for updates and instructions. This is an unprecedented disaster, but humanity's survival depends on swift and decisive action. Your safety is paramount. Evacuate now.
My fellow gods, the dark skies have spoken.
It is time for Zeus and I to retire.
But where will you go?
Zeus! Sorry, Zeus! I need a charge in the... Oh!
We interrupt our normal programming. This is a statewide emergency. Important details will follow.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government, the California state government, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency. This is not a drill. California is rapidly descending into a war zone as Roman gods continue their invasion across the state. Major cities, including San Francisco, Sacramento, San Diego, Fresno, and San Jose, are under siege by these ancient deities, who are unleashing catastrophic destruction on a scale never before witnessed. In San Francisco, Neptune has caused the bay to overflow, flooding the Embarcadero and toppling the Golden Gate Bridge, while Jupiter's lightning storms have reduced entire neighborhoods to rubble. Sacramento, the state's capital, is facing relentless assaults from Mars and his ghostly legions, with the state capitol building turned into a battlefield and streets overrun with chaos. In San Diego, Diana has unleashed monstrous beasts near Balboa Park, and La Jolla's coastal cliffs have crumbled under massive tidal waves. Fresno's agricultural heartlands are burning as Vulcan spreads volcanic fire across the Central Valley, while San Jose's tech hubs in Silicon Valley are in ruins, with reports of Mercury causing mass confusion and destruction at breakneck speeds. The United States military and law enforcement agencies are working in tandem to combat this unprecedented crisis, but their efforts are proving futile against the gods' otherworldly powers. The National Guard has been deployed across the state, prioritizing evacuations and attempts to contain the destruction. Fighter jets, tanks, and other military-grade weaponry have been used in direct confrontations, but so far, they have had little to no effect. Specialized teams are working around the clock to analyze ancient texts and relics in hopes of finding a way to subdue or communicate with these deities. Police forces are overwhelmed, focusing on directing civilians to safety zones and maintaining some semblance of order amid the chaos. Major districts, streets, and landmarks in every city are unrecognizable. Union Square in San Francisco is consumed by a vortex of wind and lightning. The Gaslamp Quarter in San Diego has become a fiery inferno. In Sacramento, Old Town is overrun with spectral warriors, while Los Angeles is still burning from the destruction caused by the gods the day before. Evacuation efforts are hampered by collapsed highways, massive fires, and unpredictable attacks. Beaches along the Pacific coast are submerged, and downtown areas are riddled with craters and debris. Civilians are urged to take immediate shelter or evacuate if possible. If you are unable to evacuate, seek shelter in underground structures or reinforced buildings away from windows and open areas. Stockpile essential supplies such as water, food, first aid kits, and flashlights, as power and communication outages are widespread. Avoid major tourist attractions, city centers, and areas of conflict entirely. Monitor emergency broadcasts on radio, TV, or mobile devices for real-time updates and instructions. Do not attempt to engage with the gods or intervene in their destruction, as doing so will result in certain death. This is a time of unparalleled crisis. The survival of California, and potentially the nation, depends on swift action, cooperation, and resilience. Stay calm, act decisively, and follow all instructions from authorities. The government and military are doing everything in their power to end this nightmare. Remain vigilant and hopeful. This is an emergency action notification. All cable systems and TV channels across the state of California shall transmit this emergency message. This station has been interrupted at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air to provide vital news and information to the public in their assigned areas. This is CNN. We will continue to serve the Atlanta, Georgia area. If you are not in this local area, tune in now to a station providing news and updates specific to your location to ensure you receive the most accurate information regarding this dangerous and evolving situation. You are now listening to the emergency alert system serving Atlanta, Georgia area. Please refrain from using the telephone unless it is an absolute life-threatening emergency. Emergency phone lines are needed for critical operations, including coordinating evacuation efforts, emergency response, and public safety communications. Your cooperation is essential to ensure resources are available to those who need them most during this unprecedented crisis. The emergency alert system has been activated. Stay tuned to this station for updates and instructions. Your safety is the priority. Remain calm, follow official directives, and prepare to take immediate action if necessary.
This is an emergency update from the Federal Emergency Management Agency's Mythological Threat Containment Unit. In an unprecedented development, the Greek gods have arrived to assist in battling the Roman gods currently wreaking havoc across the state of California. The appearance of these ancient deities, once thought to exist only in mythology, has introduced a new and unpredictable element to the ongoing crisis. Reports confirm that Zeus, Poseidon, Athena, Ares, Artemis, and other members of the Greek pantheon have engaged their Roman counterparts in several key areas, turning California into a battlefield of divine proportions. Witnesses have observed lightning strikes and storms intensifying over San Francisco as Zeus confronts Jupiter, while Poseidon and Neptune clash along the flooded coastlines of Los Angeles and San Diego. In Sacramento, Athena has been seen attempting to contain Mars and his legions with her strategic prowess, while Artemis aids in evacuating citizens trapped in forested and mountainous regions. Although the Greek gods appear to be fighting on behalf of humanity, their battles with the Roman deities are creating widespread destruction and further complicating evacuation efforts. Civilians are urged to remain cautious, as the conflict between these powerful forces is volatile and highly dangerous. Stay indoors or in designated shelters, avoid areas of divine activity, and continue monitoring emergency broadcasts for updates. The situation remains fluid and unpredictable, and all residents are advised to cooperate fully with local authorities and emergency services. The Mythological Threat Containment Unit is coordinating with experts and global agencies to assess the implications of this intervention and to find a resolution to this catastrophic conflict. Remain vigilant, stay safe, and follow all official instructions.
This is an emergency action termination. The Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Mythological Threat Containment Unit are announcing the official end of the Greek-Roman godly war in California. The Greek gods have emerged victorious, and the Roman gods have been subdued and driven away. The unprecedented battle that ravaged California is now over, but the aftermath has left widespread destruction across the state. Coastal cities, inland communities, and critical infrastructure have been severely impacted, with some areas completely unrecognizable. Recovery efforts are now underway, and we urge all residents to remain calm and cooperate with emergency services as they work to restore order. If you have been evacuated, do not attempt to return to your home until local authorities have declared it safe to do so. For those who remained in place, continue to follow safety protocols, avoid hazardous areas, and report any critical emergencies to designated officials. Resources for housing, medical care, and disaster relief will be made available immediately. Stay tuned to your local stations for information on recovery assistance, shelter locations, and rebuilding plans. We now return to our normal programming.
Good evening, Southern California. This is KNX News 97.1 FM with a special report on the aftermath of the Greek-Roman godly war that has left much of California in ruins. The state is still reeling from the battle between the ancient Greek and Roman gods, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel as the Greek gods have emerged victorious. After the intervention of the Greek gods, who have successfully driven the Roman gods away, the people of California are beginning to receive help from the very deities who fought on their behalf. The Greek gods, Zeus, Poseidon, Athena, and others, are now working alongside local authorities, emergency services, and the military to restore order and provide aid. Reports from across the state indicate that Greek gods, led by Zeus himself, have been assisting with the restoration of power, clearing debris, and offering protection from lingering supernatural threats.
California's major cities, including Los Angeles, San Francisco, and San Diego, are still facing massive recovery challenges. Infrastructure has been decimated, and many of the state's iconic landmarks, including theme parks, have been severely impacted. The fate of Disneyland Park, Universal Studios Hollywood, and SeaWorld San Diego is particularly tragic. Disneyland Park has been largely destroyed, with much of its infrastructure damaged beyond recognition. The Magic Kingdom is in ruins, and the future of the park is uncertain as it is unclear when or if it can be rebuilt to its former glory. Universal Studios Hollywood, meanwhile, saw the collapse of several sound stages and structures, while SeaWorld San Diego experienced flooding that has left much of the park submerged. While there are plans to restore these landmarks, it will take an immense effort, and many years may pass before they are fully operational again.
In the aftermath of the battle, President Joe Biden has made an urgent call for international support to aid California in its recovery efforts. He addressed the United Nations and leaders of the world's first world countries, as well as Mexico, urging them to assist in the rebuilding process.
My fellow citizens and people of the world, what we witnessed in California is unlike anything humanity has ever faced. The Greek gods have shown incredible mercy and strength, helping our people when it seemed we had no hope. But while the battle's over, the work to restore California has just begun. I am calling on our allies across the globe, our friends in the European Union, Canada, Japan, South Korea, Australia, and our neighbors in Mexico, to stand with us in rebuilding what has been lost. It will take time, but with your support, we can rebuild the Golden State stronger than ever. I know that together, we can overcome anything.
Meanwhile, companies from around the world have been stepping forward to offer their assistance. Major corporations, particularly from the tech and construction industries, are pledging both financial support and resources for the rebuilding effort. As for how long it will take to fully rebuild California, experts are estimating that the state could take anywhere from 5 to 10 years to fully recover, depending on the extent of the damage and the resources allocated to restoration efforts. The Greek gods are continuing to assist with rapid recovery, but the scale of the damage is vast. Experts say the immediate priority will be restoring essential services like electricity, water, and communication, while more long-term efforts will focus on rebuilding homes, businesses, and iconic landmarks. We will continue to bring you the latest updates as California moves into its recovery phase. Please stay tuned to KNX News 97.1 FM for all ongoing news about the aftermath of the Greek-Roman godly war and the global efforts to rebuild the state. That's all for now. Please stay safe, stay informed, and we will get through this together. We now return to our normal programming.